there'll be time to look for that one that might be extinct, that one conophyta.
Yeah, we must look for that. That's
Definitely.
So we basically start here, and we walk right to the top of this mountain.
Nice.
Basically, James, what we will do, we will walk from the southern end from the farm, right across the mountain. It's called 15 miles a berg because it's almost 15 miles from the coast. No one has ever walked the whole mountain from the south to the north. But I think we'll be able to do it in a day. It's about 7 k's walk. I've never seen any place in the world which is so rich in diversity. It's so rich that you...
Tyler will be in flower. I mean in leaf too.
In leaf too, that's right. So basic purpose here is just look at the diversity.
And list the number of species.
Exactly. And also look for two conophytum species. Well, that's exciting, eh? So I'm
Very exciting.
Looking forward to it, and I'm sure we're going to get interesting plants. I'm particularly glad this morning because of the first time that I've seen it in real foggy conditions, and it shows where the fog settles right at the top of these mountains and more on the eastern slopes. So that shows that's where your greatest diversity can occur, because many of these plants are completely dependent on the fog. And there's 2 species that I'm particularly interested to visit today. That's Conophytum bowlesii and Francoisii. And those only occur on cliffs, and we will be looking at them on the southeast facing slopes. So let's do that.
See.
And we'll see how it goes from here. But we adapt to circumstances.
Yeah.
So we see something great along the way. We
Look
take
here,
some time,
Ernst,
it's fine.
Eriospermum.
Let me see.
Look.
That's great. That's Radamanthus. But well spotted.
Look, Ernst, Adramicius.
Oh, that's nice. We're going to see plenty of it. But
And look here, look at these crassulas, Ernst.
yeah, no, let me.
No, look at them,
have a
look here. Look.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, that's Syria hemispherica.
Is
That's
this
lovely,
also
well
Pseudo
spotted.
hemispherica?
Yeah, the same.
Stick
And that's, you're right, that is Adramicius. James, come have a look.
What?
I just want to show you it's all Euphorbia ephedroides. See, it looks like Ephedra, this Euphorbia. All got this milky latex. But let's go around the side there.
Okay, I'm going to go and look at these rock cracks.
Yeah, but James.
Yeah?
No, yeah, but we're going to see lots of them. Let's just go around, otherwise we're going to not get to the top. I think we might be able to get through there. So let's try it. We'll just take it slow, don't worry, we'll just take it gradually.
Good deal of erosion.
I work for SANBI, the South African National Biodiversity Institute. I've identified certain plants that grow on cliffs as part of my research project. There are so many other medicinal and other values that plants have that we still don't know about, and so we've got to conserve as much as possible. But luckily, these, in the case of the cliff dwellers, they grow in areas where they can never be disturbed, and very few botanists have studied cliff faces because of the danger of them.
Whoa!
Be careful, that's it.
And just as I was saying, you can never be perfectly safe. A living, breathing example.
Exactly.
Ah!
We're almost there. You can already see the lichens on the cliff face.
Yeah.
From very young, my mother said I was just crazy about animals and plants. So I used to collect tokis and chameleons and everything I carried in. And it's just, yeah, by the grace of God, one is just born with this want and interest in nature. And every time you go to the field, something else stimulates you, and you just want to go back and study that plant again. And going to these various places, it just drags you in, and it's not a job for us. It's just, yeah, it's like a life passion. James?
I'm coming.
Yeah, keep your focus, because if you lose it, there's not a second chance on the cliff.
I know. And there's a little Adramicius here too.
Okay. This is what we're looking for. So great, this Conophytum bowlesii. It's so well protected during the long summer siesta with its leaf sheaves over it, and the moisture just gets recycled, and it can grow to this size, and literally hundreds of little bodies all stick together.
Wow, look at this little Adram. Look here, Ernst.
Yeah,
look at this big one. These have all fallen.
I just want to quickly just finish off. Okay, I'm coming. Yeah, this is Conophytum bowlesii. Oh, that's it. So we've got the little plants in, and we can grow them as little cuttings, so we don't damage the population. It seems now that we're going upwards and with altitude becoming richer and richer because we're reaching the fog zone. When disasters happen and everything on the flats will be destroyed, it's the cliff dwellers which will survive and can infect again the lower parts. But in certain parts there are certain rock formations which can be mined, and that's unfortunately. So they are, in the case where we're standing now, in this area you find diamond quartz. It's beautiful quartz in layers like shale almost, and they are getting mined at certain parts. I don't think the local people realize the value of this land, and just because of that importance of this great diversity. And it's absolutely wherever each centimeter of soil you just covered in succulent plants.
Wow, it's amazing.
Now this is Casteria. This is the plant.
Oh.
It belongs to the Aloe family.
Yeehaw!
Casteria pillansii var Holii, and growing only in these crevices. So that's endemic to this mountain as well. So it's full of these little endemics. Oof, I'm scared to walk because I'm so scared tramping on anything. Gotcha.
Wow.
And this Crashla columella.
Look, hey, Worthier. Hey, Worthier.
But James, be careful. Come down this side. Come down this side of you. But just be very, very careful. Oof. Rather come back. I'm a little bit worried because it's slippery. Okay. If you slip, you spotted it well. When you come back here, just be careful because this is treacherous. I've been coming up to the Richtersveld for many years, from the late 70s. My first trip, which I did to Resenkiburg, we got lost. It was in January and during the hot time. We came down one of the wrong cliffs and we were so thirsty. We walked throughout the night, 1 o'clock, about 15 k's from there, we got to the Orange River. Filled up our bags, and then early the next morning, about 5, 6, when the light was just starting to get light in summer, we walked back. And we went to a higher ridge and then we saw the car. Since then I've never got lost again, because you realize if there wasn't the Orange River close, or you start panicking without water. And these plants, they know how to conserve water. Lichen are important in trapping fog and providing moisture to the environment and to other succulents growing around them as well. In this case, you can see in the background this little Stuberia, little seedling that came up in this group of lichens. So the lichens provided that protective cover and also anchorage for the seed, but also moisture settling around and with plenty of fog. I just love the plants. I don't know why, but they're just such intriguing and give us messages to mankind that never give up and don't see hardships as something negative, but to overcome. Because succulent plants went through hardships. And what we're looking at today are that end product. They're really refined by time and by nature. And they are the most advanced in the whole of the plant kingdom. So these plants were shaped by suffering over the ages, and the end product are that beautiful, perfect plant adapted to that specific environment. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, it's amazing, these miniature little plants growing at the base, and you look at this massive thing next to it. But I'm glad to see the young plants among them. South Africa have got the largest succulent diversity in the world, and the Richtersveld, can be regarded as a hotspot and one of the greatest diversity centers. That's the reason why there's such a lot of focus and attention on the area, and it should be protected. We've come to Numi's mine, Richtersveld, and Numi's is famous for its beautiful halfmens plants. It was last year in the late 70s, so it's quite a long time ago. But I'm amazed to see that population is still going strong, and the plants from here look healthy. Yeah, they grow very, very slowly. We estimate about 1 centimeter per annum. So one takes this 1.5 meter plant, it will be at least 150 years old. So they get very, very old. I'm still doing the same work as when I started as a young man working at Sandby in 1974. And yeah, I still hope I will do it to the end of my life. And there's many of the other botanists like Elsie Esther, and she used to climb when she was still in the 80s. So I'm in the late 50s, but I still enjoy climbing, and yeah, one just must take it slower the older one gets.
Ernst?
Just a moment. I can't believe it. Wow, this is special, eh? It's probably a new one, and I'll call it Bulbini deaconi, after James.
I hope so.
With his sharp eyes. That's a new Bulbini species, which I think. But we can only prove it once we've grown it and it comes into flower. But it's the possibility are great. And it's also one of these fog-adapted plants.
Look here, all along here. This is the new plant.
I've been to these mountains many times, but this I've never seen. So this looks to me like something really unique. And it will only be proved when we grow it in a small container. And once we see it flowering, and I relate it to other Bulbinis, then I can for certain say. But I'm quite positive that it is new. And we'll get it off to the artist, to Vicky Thomas, to paint.
And call it deacony.
And yeah, then we can possibly call it Bulbini deaconi, which will be an appropriate name because of its young discoverer, James Deacon.
I don't understand how you can't find it.
I can't focus to that size, but I'm all excited, man. Wow, James.
Yeah, flipping hell.
It shows there, taking young, enthusiastic, passionate students, because you see a lot of things.
And using them, this is slave labor. I want to join a trade union.
See, this is Myrophyta mayeri. It's also a special plant. That's the thing you asked me. Remember, and I said it, Rosie. At Kersmos, we've got lots of plant collections. By growing them, we learn a lot about them. We will also pollinate the plants, and the plant will produce seed. And those seeds we will also make available for other scientific studies. Then there's a horticultural side as well. They're so beautiful, ornamental, and many people is wanting to grow these plants. So we're actually there to help people, how to understand plants, interpret plants, and make them available as well. Now, some of them are so tiny here, they can easily get lost. So we have to look careful for all our pockets. But that was a great expedition. Let's see where all our little gems.
Wow.
See, that's a specimen fell down from the cliff. Usually after storms, you find these plants falling down from the cliffs. And you can see it was lying there. It was already under stress, so we will give it a new life. Except with all these plants, like your children, I've got to play doctor to them. When they're sick, I've got to spray them. When they're unhappy, I've got to take them out of the soil and see what's wrong, if they've got a fungus. So I really have to look after them, and one gets emotionally attached to them as well. So it's very difficult for me to resign from Kersmos because I love those plants. Wasn't it great there that Conophytum leucophyi in flower? So I never expected we would find it in flower. And even some of the boluses, which is supposed to flower later. So we were... Exactly. So, and yeah, fantastic, and congratulations, yeah, you got that.